lab is to affect multiple different HTML documents. We'll have two different HTML documents, and we're going to format them both just by having one connected CSS document. So the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and download the root folder. So download that, and as you're downloading that, you can take a look quickly at what things are supposed to look like. So this will be our main index page, and this is what our other page is going to look like. And this is just the view of it after I've scrolled down. And then it's probably going to go to our downloads folder, so let's go ahead and uncompress our root folder. And I'm just going to delete the compressed version, so we just have the one to work with. And you'll see I have my two HTML documents. I have an index, and I have my cups.html, and then I also have a folder with some images in there. And then we're also going to have to create a CSS sheet. So I'm going to start by going to Visual Studio Code and creating a new document. And remember, with a CSS sheet, we don't have any specific code we need to put in there to start it. So we can just save this, and I'm going to save it into my root folder as styles.css. Alright. And then I also want to go ahead and open up both of my HTML documents because I want to be able to link that CSS sheet to both of these. So let's go ahead and open that up in Visual Studio Code. So now I have three tabs. I have my style sheet, and I have my index page and my cups page. And remember, to link these, we just have to add some code into the head for each of them. I actually put this in Canvas. You can just go ahead and copy and paste it if you want. But it's that link relative style sheet, and then the file path, so the href and then styles.css, because that's what we named our document. And then we'll save that, and we'll also link it in this one as well. So now these can be affected by this sheet. So let's take a look at what they look like right now. So right now my index page looks like this. There's absolutely no formatting, no images. And we want it to look like this. So we'll just have to work through this slowly. We're going to start by adding the images in and creating the tags that I have here for in HTML. And then after that, we'll do the CSS to style it. So first, we'll notice we have this logo.jpg right here. And then we also have, here it says HTML defined as an H1. So we have that right here. So let's go ahead and go to our index page and find the first sentence, a complete selection of foods, blah, 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 blah. This is what we want to define as an H1. So let's go ahead and put some H1 tags surrounding it to make it into that heading 1. And now you'll see if I refresh, look at that, we've got our heading. And now we also want to add our image, and we want to make it in the same line as the heading. So I'm going to go ahead and inside my heading add that image tag. So image source equals, and then if we look here, it'll be images and then logo.jpg. So images / logo. Oh, I think I forgot my JPEG. Let me close that out. So now if we go here, look at that. It looks great. And we could make our text italic here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. So this is some inline stuff right here. Just surrounding this as well, I'm going to go EM for emphasis. Alright, so now it's italic. Again, I just surrounded that text with the EM. So now on this one line we have our opening and closing H1 tags, and then inside of that we have our image, and then we also have our sentence that's surrounded by the EM tags. Alright, next we want to make sure that this next section is a paragraph. And you can see here, I have it pointing here, it says define it as a paragraph in the HTML. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. And then this last section here, right here, we want to define that as an H3. So I'm just going to surround this whole line with H3 to make it a heading 3. Alright, looks something like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and format the cups page, and this one has a little bit more to it, it's a little bit longer, but again, we'll take it step by step. So first we have the logo at the very top that we want to go ahead and add. So let me go ahead and open that up, and as a reminder, this is what it looks like right now. So again, a whole lot of nothing. So let's go ahead and check to see what we want it to look like. This is going to be an H1 as well, and it looks like they're on the same line also. So I'm going to go ahead and find that homemade peanut butter cups here and make that an H1 by surrounding it with H1 tags. And then I'm also going to add that image in. Images slash, and then it's going to be logo small this time. Great, that looks awesome. Okay, so then next we want to add that cups.jpg, and that's going to be on a second line. So underneath that line, I'm going to go ahead and add another image, source equals images slash, and there's cups.jpg. Perfect. And then after that, we want a horizontal rule. So under that, I'm just going to write HR. Perfect. So we're starting to get there. Next, this what you'll need is going to be an H2. So I'm going to go ahead and define that, surrounding it with H2s. Perfect. And then this here is going to be a unordered list. You can see that I have that written here as well. This is an unordered list. So I did also put your reminder code for lists in Canvas, so you can use that as a starter, copy and paste, but you can also just type it in. So here I'm going to go ahead and start with the unordered list, opening and closing, and this should be some review over the list stuff that we did. And then each of these should be surrounded by opening and closing list item tags. Alright. Look at that. Looks like we have an extra list item here. Let's see where that's at. Oh, that's just because I forgot the slash in there. Perfect. Alright, then the next one is the directions, and that's also going to be an H2. So I'm going to surround that by an H2. Oops. Perfect. And then this is going to be an ordered list. So remember, the ordered list is OL, so we're going to surround this whole thing with OL. And then we need to just find where each of the list items start and end and make those. So this one's going to be a list item, and it ends after chips and shortening. Okay. Then cook over low heat. It's the beginning of the next one. And smooth for 3 to 5 minutes is the end of the next one. Alright. Loosen. It's the first word of this one. And it goes all the way until refrigerate cups, so let's find where that is. End that list. And the next one is in a 2-quart saucepan, so start a new list item. Close it right after chocolate cup. And then the last one starts with spoon and ends with store refrigerated. Alright, look at that. Got a nice list of 5 steps. This here, we also want to make an H2, so again, let's make H2s surrounding that makes 30 servings. And then this last one is going to be an H3 as well, just like we did on the home page. Alright, so let's see what that looks like. Perfect. Okay, so now we just need to do the CSS part. So all the HTML parts are done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through these again and just pay attention to the CSS sections of it to make sure that we format all of this for the CSS. So we're almost there. So I'm going to go to my style sheet and let's take a look at what we have. So first we have logo.jpg, that's fine. Then we have this H1 here. And we want to make that 24 point Georgia, and it's already italic. So let's go ahead and basically target the H1. So let's write H1, curly brackets, and then we want to change the font family to Georgia. And then we want to change the font size to 24 pixels. And it's already italic because we did that inline with the EM tags. So look at that. Now we've changed our font and size for this. Perfect. Alright, let's go down the page. Next, our paragraph. We want that to be defined as a paragraph, which it already is. So let's target the P tags. And then let's do a font family Verdana. And then font size is 12 pixels. Look at that. Nice. And then on here we also have the H3. So let's target our H3s. And we want these to be Verdana 14 points. So font family Verdana. Font size 14. Look at that. It's looking great. And then lastly, let's make sure that the background color matches our logo image exactly. So I gave you the hex code for that. And basically what we're just going to do is target our body. And let's do background color, and then FFCC99, hashtag FFCC99. Perfect. Now we have an excellent looking index page. So that's all we need for the index page. Let's go ahead and move on to our other page. So for the cups page, again, let's work around this slowly. First we have the logo, that's good. Then we need to change this one. So this is defined as an H1, and let's see. We've already changed the H1, so if I refresh this, you'll see it actually already started affecting this page. So it already affected anything that we've already targeted. So this is an H1, so it already changed it. It already changed my background color for me. So like I said, the singular style sheet is changing both of these pages. So some of the stuff that we've already written is already affecting this. So it's already done that. And it already changed this, and it already changed the background color, but we have to double check the other H's that we haven't fixed yet. So that one's already done. H2, I don't believe that we've defined that yet, so let's take a look. Yeah, we have H1, we have H3, but we don't have an H2 yet. So I'm going to go ahead and write in H2 to target that. And then our H2, we want that to be Georgia 14 point. Only Georgia, size 14. Alright, look at that. And it's adjusting this one as well, so it's adjusting all three of those headings at once. Alright, and then the H3 already got changed. As you can see, it's the same as what I had it up here. And then we also just need to change our lists. So our unordered list and our ordered list, we can quickly give the 10-point Verdana in a different color. And we can do this all by just targeting the list item, because it'll be the same. We have list items in both our unordered and ordered lists. So let's just target list items. And then font family, Verdana. And then font size, 10 pixels. And then the color will be that. Alright, so let's save that, see what that looks like. Perfect. And that's all there is to it. So this is what it should look like, something like this. Just follow the instructions that I just gave you through the tutorial. All of that code should be accurate. Once you're done following along with this, just make sure your changes are saved for all three of these. Close them out. Then re-zip up your root folder, so recompress that and upload that.